This week on Starting Line,
we're really looking to stem the tide of puppy mills and kitten mills in the state of Minnesota.
Representative Carlie Kotyza-Witthuhn wants to ban retail pet shops from selling cats and dogs. Find out why on this week's Starting Line. So far on Starting Line this session, we've talked gun bills and smoking bans. This week, we're talking dogs and cats. Right now, you could go to some pet shops around the state and buy a puppy or a kitten. Representative Carlie Kotyza-Witthuhn is sponsoring a bipartisan proposal that would put a stop to that. We asked the DFL-er from Eden Prairie why.
So ultimately what we are trying to do is shift the market in Minnesota completely away from puppy mills, kitten mills, these types of things, to a more humane option. And very few people realize that there are only 6 pet stores yet left in the state of Minnesota that are not just using shelters, rescue organizations, etc., to provide cats and dogs to their clients.
And where did the idea for this come from?
It was actually brought to me from a constituent. So she actually works with a rescue organization in Carver County, and we met in 2018 back on the campaign trail, and this is an issue that we bonded over. So she and her husband, foster dogs and helped them find forever families. My husband and I adopted a dog 6 or 7 years ago. I'm failing to remember the timeline. Through another organization, he came to Minnesota via he was actually a stud dog at a puppy mill down in Missouri, and then came to Minnesota via Indiana through kind of the connection of rescue organizations through those couple of states, and has just been a joy in our life. But Mandy brought the bill to me, said that it was already had a full complement of authors in the Senate, and that they were looking for an author in the House, and that's certainly a bipartisan bill. So we have Republicans on the bill, we have Democrats on the bill, and we're working together to do good things for the animals of Minnesota and the people of Minnesota.
Part of this bill would allow for a space inside retail shops for nonprofit humane societies. We talked a little bit about that before. I didn't even realize that was happening at some of the corporate shops. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I don't happen to have off the top of my head the schedule that these different larger pet stores sometimes sponsor or host an adoption event where some of the local rescues can bring in animals. But you're certainly able to still purchase food and accessories and all those sorts of things to support your cats and dogs, and then all the other types of animals as well. I mean, it doesn't affect fish, doesn't affect lizards and those types of things, but we're really looking to stem the tide of puppy mills and kitten mills in the state of Minnesota.
And I see there's bipartisan support. You talked about it a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Scheduled for a hearing next week at the Commerce Committee. Where do you see this bill going in the next few weeks?
Well, I anticipate that we'll pass it out of Commerce, and I think it's going to go right to the General Register. I'm not, I'll have to double check if there's any more stops that we have to make, but, and I know that Senator Bigham is working on getting a hearing in the Senate as well, so hopefully we can see this bill go to the governor's desk before the end of the session.
And just finally, dogs or cats?
I'm a dog person for sure, but only because I'm allergic to cats. I did grow up with a cat, and she was the light of my life as a small child, and until she passed away.
Representative Kotyza-Witthuhn's bill is scheduled to be heard Tuesday by the House Commerce Committee. Last week on Starting Line, we highlighted Representative Rena Moran's proposal to ban smoking inside a car or public transportation vehicle if a minor is in the vehicle. House File 3072 was approved last Wednesday by the House Health and Human Services Policy Committee and sent to the House Transportation, Finance, and Policy Division. We will keep you updated as session goes along. Speaking of that, if you want more information on Representative Moran's bill or Representative Kotyza-Witthuhn's bill, or to stay up to date with what's happening at the legislature, check out our nonpartisan Session Daily work at house.mn/sessiondaily. Thanks for watching the Starting Line. We'll see you next week.